back with Falcons therapy. I told you I'm gonna be here. I said 1 hour. I didn't quite make it an hour yesterday, but I'm here, man. Anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour, I'm gonna be here. Um, Today's Wednesday. I'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll be here the next day, Friday, and I will probably be here Saturday as well, and I will be here Sunday after week one, Atlanta Falcons versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Real quick, if you could support the channel, take some time, hit that like button and that subscribe button. If you are not a subscriber, I would truly appreciate it. I thank you for coming through. I thank you for supporting the channel. If you're curious and you're just filling yourself out, you don't know if you want to commit to be a subscriber. I get it. I get it. But hitting that like button really helps out a lot. Helps all the content creators out so much. Helps us get our views up. Helps us get in the recommendations of other viewers. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, just take 2 seconds. It takes 2 seconds. Let me pray real quick, and then we're gonna get started today, man. We got a good topic for you. Lord, we do thank you for all your blessings. Thank you for your goodness, your mercy, your love. Thank you for how you watched over us all day yesterday and how you watched over us as we slept. You woke us up this morning. You allowed us to have the activities of our limbs. You kept us in our right mind. You watched over our family and our friends. Just ask that you would bless this day for this is the day that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. We just come to, man, just talk about some fun topics, some sports, something lighthearted. We ask that you would touch each and every one. Uh, People might have things that they're going through in their mind or in their body or social emotional things, whatever it may be, minister to their individual needs and just help me to be the light that shines in the midst of darkness and encourage everyone that comes and listens. Uh, Help them leave with a smile on their face, feeling better than they did before they came. That is my prayer. In Jesus' name. Amen. And amen. And I closed my eyes, but you couldn't even see because I have my glasses on. Here we go, man. We got 5 days. Is it 5 days? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 days. 5 days to the new look Falcons hit the field. And I'm super excited, man. I watched the press conference after practice, Coach Heems' press conference. And I just want to talk about some of the things he discussed. And then I'm actually going to something that's a little more personal. I'm gonna talk about why I'm even able to stream right now. Some of you that might be subscribers might be wondering why is he streaming all of a sudden, especially in the middle of the day. I want to tell you that as well about my story briefly, why I'm able to do this and why my time is freed up a little bit. So here we go. Coach Heem. Coach Heem at a press conference today. I love his press conferences. Let me say that. I've said that a couple times since he's been hired, but it is such a joy and a pleasure to sit down and watch Coach Raheem Morris talk about football. And I know if I'm loving it, I can only imagine how much the players, especially the players from last year, are loving his energy, his positivity, the way he just articulates himself, and the passion he has for the game of football. So shout out to Coach Heem. Um, but yeah, and the press conference just started out with injury report. So injury report for today, Wednesday, September 4th. You got Nate Landman. That's on the injury report with a quad injury. I don't think it's anything serious, but he said Nate was the only one that really was not practicing today. But then another report came out on my fantasy football league that Kyle Pitts has a hamstring tweak. So Kyle Pitts with the hamstring tweak is downgraded to questionable. from healthy. So that's something to monitor, especially for myself, because I did select Kyle Pitts in my fantasy football league. So I'm going to be monitoring that closely, man. And that will be highly disappointing if he's not able to get out there week one. But obviously, hamstrings are tricky. So we don't want to, risk his health for the entirety of a season, because you can play around with a hamstring and it can linger for 2-3 months, man. So hope those guys get healthy. But yeah, Kyle Pitts and Nate Landman on the injury report for the Falcons this week. Kirk Cousins is a full go, 100%. That's a guy who's not on the injury report this week. Tore his Achilles last season, but Kyle Pitts, Nate Landman on the report. But the guy who is not on the report, Kirk Cousins, our starting quarterback. That's phenomenal. So any of you that had questions about whether Kirk Cousins was going to be ready to go, Coach Heems said it today. Kirk is going to play. And he has no restrictions. No restrictions. So I'm excited to see Kirk get out there and toss that thing around. Another thing that happened this week. Captains were selected. The Atlanta Falcon football team selected their captains, and the players spoke. The players spoke up. The players were able to pick their own captains, and Coach Heems said, it's the players' team. I like that. I like that he's allowing his players to have their voice. He said there were a lot of votes for captains, and he kind of had to narrow down based upon how many votes people were getting. But they came away with Jake Matthews, Grady Jarrett, Jesse Bates III, and my last guy, Kirk Cousins. So those are your captains for the 2024-2025 season. You couldn't have picked four better ones. Obviously, I think you could go a number of directions, but Grady Jarrett, probably the most revered and respected Falcon in the locker room. So that's not a surprise. Coming off a reconstructive knee surgery, missing some portion of last season, going through rehab, going through training, going through therapy, I think it's a no-brainer. Grady Jarrett, a captain of this team, absolutely. Next, you got Jake Matthews, man. Jake Matthews, named captain by his peers, by his teammates. Jake Matthews, I don't know when the last time Jake Matthews missed a game. The last time Jake Matthews missed a game, I might have had hair. And you see the hair is gone. Jake Matthews, man, been a long time Falcon. He's been a stabilizing force at left tackle. He's a guy that I've kind of been a little bit critical of, I ain't gonna lie, over his tenure, just because sometimes I believe in the big game he kind of gets overwhelmed by some of those power rushers. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, we're fortunate to have him. Jake Matthews, a great left tackle for the Falcons, and we are not surprised that he was selected as a captain by his peers. Hey, I mean, this dude just does not miss games, so it's really nice for a quarterback to be able to rely on his left tackle to always be there in uniform, suiting up and covering his backside week in and week out. Sorry, I'm trying to get my tablet going here, log myself out. Got my notes. And then Jesse Bates III, man. Jesse Bates III made a huge impact last season in his first year with the Falcons, free agent, coming over from the Bengals. Rated the highest safety in the league last season. I mean, you know why? The boy is making plays all over the field. He was tackling, he was intercepting. He had a pick six against the freaking Saints. I mean, you become a legend in Atlanta when you get a pick six against the Saints. I still remember when Deion Jones got his pick six his rookie year against the Saints. That was phenomenal. So yeah, Jesse Bates the third, man, highest rated safety in the league, balled out for us last year, and I believe he's gonna ball out for us again this season. So he's selected captain. Absolutely agree with it. Um, he's just a baller, man. He just makes plays all over that field. And then our last uh, captain, selected by his teammates, Kirk Two Chains cousin, Cuzzo himself. Um, he's coming over from Minnesota, and I mean, I think he has brought a level of optimism to this team that we haven't seen since who? Matty Ice. We haven't seen the fans this excited about the offense since Matt Ryan was in his prime. That this is the truth. Um, we've been struggling trying to find a quarterback for the past few years. We've been struggling offensively in the passing game because we've been struggling to find a quarterback. It's tough, man. It's not easy to win games when you don't have a quarterback that you can rely on. I'm not even going to name names, but we know who we had. We know who we had. I'm not going to name names. No need to do that. But we got Kirk now. So we moving on. We pressing towards, I'm almost about to preach, okay? Pressing towards the mark of the prize of high calling in Christ. But we pressing towards the 2024-2025 season. Okay, that's what I meant to say. But the other words came out. But I guess somebody needed to hear that. Keep pressing. That's all I'm saying. Keep pressing. We're gonna move forward. We're not gonna stay. We're not gonna stay stuck on the past. Okay, the past is the past. Yeah, we struggled, but we got a new guy behind center now, and his name is Kirk Cousins, and he has a resume that is second to none in this league. I mean, other than Patrick Mahomes, right? He don't have 3 Super Bowl victories, but he's a baller. He's going to find the open man, and that's what we need. Somebody who can accurately throw the ball, who can make all the throws across the field, and who's an elite processor. You heard Raheem Morris say that time and time again in his introductory press conference. We need a quarterback that is an elite processor. That means he can get through read number 1, read number 2, read number 3, read number 4. And if he has a fifth read or if he needs to take off, he knows what to do. And he can do it quickly. So, Kirk Cousins selected captain by his peers. And, we're just thankful to have Kirk, man. So those are our captains. Those are our 4 captains. Jesse Bates III, Grady Jarrett, Kirk Cousins, and Jake Matthews. Moving on, Coach Raheem Morris talked about how excited he was for Grady Jarrett's return to the Falcon uniform and to play on the field. It's going to be extremely exciting to see Grady Jarrett get back out there on the field. And I'm just as excited as Coach Raheem Morris is to see Grady get back out there and make plays for us. He also talked about his excitement to see our new additions on defense, our dogs that we acquired. Matthew Judon, the pass rusher that we acquired from the New England Patriots. And then Justin Simmons teaming up with Jesse Bates III on the back end. Okay? This is going to be a special safety tandem. I'm not going to put a number out there of how many interceptions I'm going to expect, but I'm just saying it's going to be the no-fly zone. We're the Birds. We're the Falcons. We're the Dirty Birds. It's going to be the no-fly zone. Don't throw the ball in either one of their directions because it ain't coming back. That's all I'm saying. It ain't coming back. Jesse Bates III and Justin Simmons out there manning the secondary for the Falcons. So I'm really excited to see those guys work together in tandem. I think it's going to be really special. And my tablet has locked again because I got carried away talking about Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons. All right, so talked about how excited he was to see those two guys make their Falcons debut on Sunday. Um, he was asked about the Steelers, right? What did he think about the Steelers defense? Steelers are always known to be a really good defensive team, defensively sound, strong. Their strong suit has always been defense. They can always hang their hat on defense. Even when they're struggling offensively, the defense knows how to just make plays and win games. But Coach Heems said something that I thought was really prophetic. He said, we don't have to play ghosts out there. We're not playing against Troy Polamalu and James Harrison and uh, I mean they had a ton of players. I can't even name all the guys that they've had. Ryan Clark, they've had some amazing guys out there, dude. We're not playing against their freaking Hall of Fame players. We're not playing against all those ghosts from the past, the Steel Curtain. We're not playing against all those guys. Did they have Jack Lambert or something like that? They had some ballers out there, man, on their defense over the years. And we're just playing against the 2024, 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers. That's all we have to do is go out there and beat that defense. So we can't be caught up in all the legacy and the history of the Steelers. We're playing this year's version of the Steelers. Yes, they have some great defensive players. TJ Watt, he's a great player. Minka Fitzpatrick, great player. Um, I think they have my boy that came over from the Ravens. I think they got Patrick Queen too, if I'm not mistaken. I wouldn't say he's great, but he's a really good linebacker. Um, and then Joey Porter Jr., cornerback. He's a really good corner, right? They got some pieces over there, and then they got I think Cam Hayward. I think he's still playing over there. So they got some playmakers, man. But you know what? We got playmakers too. That's basically what Coach Heem was saying. He didn't come out and say it because I'm sure he doesn't want to give them bulletin board material. But I'm gonna say it. We got playmakers too. We got playmakers on this offense. So we not gonna be scared to line up against anybody. All right. So we're not playing the ghosts of the Steelers defense. We're playing this year's version of the Steelers. So we're gonna go out there and give them our best. Um, the question was also asked, what will the identity of this defense be? What will the identity of the 2024-25 defensive version of the Atlanta Falcons be? Jimmy Lake is our new defensive coordinator. We don't know. We don't know. We've never seen Jimmy Lake call a defensive game for the Atlanta Falcons, so we got to wait and find out. Is this going to be a team that can sack the quarterback? We don't know. Is this going to be a team that can force turnovers? We don't know. Is this going to be a bend but don't break defense? A team that hunkers down in the red zone, let you kind of get down the field a little bit, but then hold you to a field goal in the red zone. We don't know. Um, we got to wait and see. But we do. I do want to see. I want to know too. So I'm glad they asked the question. What will the identity of this defense be? It's going to be a fast defense, a fast attacking defense. Are we putting pressure on the quarterback? Are we going to blitz? Are we going to sit back and be conservative? Are we going to be a heavy coverage defense? Like, what do you expect to see on Sunday? I don't know. I can't wait to. I can't wait to find out though. When talked about his expectations for Sunday, week one, what do you look for out there? How are you preparing? Coach Heem said, you know what? We just have to trust everything that we've been putting into uh, uh, the off season, all these things we've been practicing, all the things we've been watching on film, the things the coaches have been implementing and drilling and teaching. We have to trust that we are going to be prepared. We have to trust that the coaches are preparing the players with the winning game plan. That's what it boils down to. Because you can do all the preparation you want to do, but once Like he said, once they sing that national anthem, it's go time. After that, it is go time. That first kickoff, no coaches can't win the game for you then. It's all about what we do. And what you do reflects on how you prepared during the off season and during the week, how you prepared. So we're gonna see if the preparation carries over to a win on Sunday. All right. When asked, how do you feel about week one? Will week one set the tone for the rest of the season? I really liked Coach Heems' response. His response was no. Week one doesn't set the tone for the rest of the season. It's just 1 week. It just happens to be the first game. It just happens to be, and I'm kind of skipping ahead, but I'll tie this in. It just happens to be his first game as the Atlanta Falcons head coach, not counting the interim. I know he was the interim coach when Dan Quinn was fired, but it just happens to be his first game as the Atlanta Falcons head coach without the interim title. It just happens to be Zach Robinson's first game as offensive coordinator in his life in the NFL. It just happens to be his first time calling plays. It just happens to be Jimmy Lake's first game as the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator. All these firsts are happening on the same week, but guess what? It's still only 1 week. If the Falcons happen to lose this game, it does not determine the rest of the season. If the Falcons happen to win this game, you still can't say that determines how the rest of the season will go. It's 1 week. So you can't get too high and you can't get too low after week one result. So I really liked his. I added some more on there, but I liked his response. Can't get too high, can't get too low. It's just 1 week. Can't put too much pressure on yourself. Um, can't make it count for more than what it is. Week one is week one. It only gonna count as one win or one loss, and then you got to move on and you got to get ready for week two. All right. He asked about playing against T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt, man. As I said earlier, T.J. Watt's a really good player. He's a great player. Um, Asking, will you have things in place to make sure that he doesn't wreck the game plan? He said, absolutely. You do not want to allow T.J. Watt to wreck your game plan because it can happen. He's a guy that can single-handedly um, he can wreck havoc on your quarterback. He can wreck havoc on your running backs. If you leave him singled up all day, he's going to find a way to make an impact on this game. And not to say that he won't make an impact at all, because great players find a way, but you just don't want him wrecking the game from the opening whistle to the last whistle. So, of course, he's not going to say, schematically how they're going to draw up keeping T.J. Watt from killing the game plan, but clearly there will be some measures in place to make sure we can keep T.J. Watt under control on Sunday. Why not, right? You don't want him to wreck the game. Great players make great plays. Other news: Falcons signed Nathan Peterman to the practice squad. So now we have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Well known that Taylor Heineke was traded to the Los Angeles Chargers for a conditional 7th round pick that could turn into a 6th round pick. So the Falcons were in need of another quarterback. And Falcons signed Nathan Peterman yesterday and plopped him on the practice squad. I already talked about Zach Robinson's. This is going to be his first game calling plays as the offensive coordinator. Coach Heem has the ultimate confidence in Zach Robinson. When asked, what do you expect from Zach Robinson? He says he's been preparing for this opportunity his whole life. This is something that he's wanted. This is a dream of his. He didn't just start preparing just because he got the job, right? he's been preparing for something like this his whole life. So he expects him to be ready. Uh, but he says everybody has to start with their first game, and this this one just happens to be his. Every great coordinator had to start out with their first game. So this just happens to be Zach Robinson's first one. So he expects great things from him, and I love the confidence that he exudes when talking about his staff. I'm sure that empowers them. Um, I'm sure it makes them feel great, and I'm sure it just makes for a really great working relationship with his colleagues. So I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited. So now let's get serious real quick. Let's get serious real quick. And if anybody's in here, and if you want to chat and talk, absolutely. While I'm kind of going on this tangent, feel free. Like I said, you don't have to just be a Falcons fan. You could be a football fan. We could talk about your team. Um, we could talk about football in general. If you want to take it to another sport, I mean, I'm pretty versed over. We could talk about other sports too. But yeah, I'm just here as a therapeutic, just a therapeutic moment for you throughout your day. Maybe just need a time to just sit and listen to sports talk. Makes you feel relaxed. Come on through. Come on through. Absolutely. If you're a Falcon fan and you're just really excited about the future of the Atlanta Falcons and the changes that have been made, um, come on through. Come on through. If you don't like the Falcons and you want to talk about your, for instance, I'm not repping no other teams. Don't get it twisted. But if you want to come talk about your Cowboys, you are more than welcome. If you want to come talk about your 49ers, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Um, Everybody's welcome here. This is therapy. It just happens to be Falcons therapy. That's the title of this podcast, but it's therapy for everybody. So everyone's welcome. All right. So why am I here? Why have I so much time on my hands all of a sudden? Why can I do an hour show in the middle of the day um, when I'm supposed to be at work? Right? Some of you that don't know, some of you that do, I am a PE teacher. I teach elementary school PE um, locally, and this happened to actually be my first year of teaching. I'm in school to get my credential right now, and so I had a lot going on, and so basically, here's what happened. This is why I'm home and able to do these podcasts for y'all for the near future. Um, so, a couple weeks ago, I went to my mom had a birthday. Shout out to moms. She made 76, 76 years old. We took her out to dinner, and she went to Benihana's. Great. We had a great time. Food was amazing. Service was amazing. So, kind of walking out of the restaurant, I was noticing that I was stumbling a little bit, and I was like, "What was that about?" I thought it might have been the gradient of the sidewalk because it was a little slanted and sloped. So I was just like, "Wow, I'm like losing my balance. That's weird." Um, so, I was driving, so I didn't think anything of it. Pulled around and got everybody in the car. Had a full vehicle. I had three passengers: my mom, my stepdad, and a member from the church. And took everybody home. We went home, and I was tired though because it was a long weekend. So I got into bed. Got into bed, laid down. It's probably like 6 in the evening on Sunday. Um, I woke up around 9 or 10. Really great nap, and I went to put my feet in my Crocs. Well, they're like slides, but they're Croc slides. and for some reason my right foot wasn't going in my slides, and I was like, this is weird. And then I still kind of felt a little bit off balance too, and I was like, man, this is strange. So to fast forward, I didn't really panic. I just thought I was tired, so I went back to sleep and woke up with that same sort of, uh, I don't know, I wouldn't call it dizziness, but just like my equilibrium was off, and my foot was still kind of like not cooperating how it normally should. Um, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go to work. I'm going to work. I don't want to call in. But if I don't feel better at the end of the day, I'm gonna go and get myself checked out. I'm gonna take myself to the hospital because I'm feeling like something's off, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not getting scared, but I also don't want it to get worse, right? So I worked throughout that day, and it wasn't a terribly hot day, but yeah, like my with my balance kind of being off, and then with my foot kind of feeling funny, I was like, I'm gonna go in. I'm going to rise up, Christy. What's up with you? I'm just telling my personal story, but we could talk Falcons. If you got any questions or you got any comments, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. We could talk. We could talk. I'm just ranting about my own little personal experience right now. Um, so I checked myself in after work. This was 2 weeks ago on a Monday, um, and I go to emergency, and I say, you know what? I want to get myself checked out. I'm not sure what's going on, but my balance is a little off. Something's going on with my right foot. Like I can walk and I can get around, but I just don't feel like myself, right? So the lady, um, they go, okay, well, they had me sit in the lobby, and then I get called up to the triage nurse. I think her title is, and she kind of had a funky attitude. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't appreciate that. So she goes, oh, well, tell me what's going on with you, And so I said, yeah, my balance is off, this and that, and my right foot is kind of doing something funky. And I was like, and then I said the words, I'm wondering if I had a stroke because these seem like some of the symptoms of a stroke, but I'm still able to get around. And she was like, well, when did it start? And I told her, well, it started yesterday. And she was like, well, why'd you wait so long? Why didn't you come yesterday? You should came yesterday because now it's been over 6 hours and there's nothing we can do. And it was like she was telling me almost like, go home. Like, since you didn't come in 6 hours, you should just go home and deal with it. And part of me was like, man, I'm out of here. Like, her attitude ain't cool. I'm just gonna leave. But everything in me was echoing, no, you need to stay. So I stayed, even though I didn't like her little attitude that she had. Um, I stayed and I waited. So they called me in almost like immediately. And just a blessing from God because ER, you could be sitting there for 3 hours sometime. Um, Called me in and they were like, okay, well, they had me sitting on this bed in the hallway because they were so busy. And then this lady came over to me and was asking me, yeah, what's going on with you, this and that and the other. And she was like, okay, well, um, they're going to take you into MRI immediately. And she was like, I don't know how you got, you skipped the line, but usually it takes sometime even 4 or 5 hours, like to get to MRI. But they said they'll take you immediately. And I was like, cool. So I had to go change my clothes, yada yada yada. Long story short, I get my MRI. I'm afraid. I don't like being closed in. The last time I freaked out and had a panic attack, but I knew I had to get this done. So I made it through. I was singing my gospel music to myself, and to fast forward, doctor came back and he was like, "We can't send you home. Yeah, you had a stroke." And he was like, we need to evaluate you. We're going to keep you. Um, so we're going to admit you. We're going to get you a room. We're going to send you upstairs. So let me fast forward because I'm going way too long. But um, so they ran all these tests. I stayed that night. Then the next morning I had to do another MRI. This one was of my head and my neck, and then I had to do a CAT scan. Um, and then I did a echnocardiogram or something like that. Um, I'm glad to. I am glad to, Christy. I appreciate you. Yeah, and I'm definitely one of those guys. EKG, yes. I'm definitely one of those guys that'll be like, this service is whack. I'm out of here. Like, that's me. If you turn me off the wrong way, I'm gone. I'm out the door. But I knew it was God. He was telling me like, no, this is your health. Your health, your life is on the line. Really, I mean, you have a stroke, your life is on the line. So you don't get the right treatment in the correct amount of time, things can go sideways really quickly. So, but the whole time I'm still mobile, I'm still functional. I mean, I could still talk clearly. I never lost any, speech or just very little. Strength in my hands, just like kind of like my pinky finger a little bit. But and then I had to do another procedure. I had to do a procedure where they put a camera down my throat to look at my heart, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit because I was like, a camera down my throat, and they was like, yeah, we got to look at your heart, like everything checked out well on your EKG, but we want to look at it and make sure structurally, like there's nothing wrong with your heart. And so I was like, am I gonna be awake, or are you gonna knock me out, or what you gonna do? Like, are they just gonna come in the room and do that? And they was like, oh no, well we gonna take you downstairs. And I could tell they weren't telling me everything, but it was like a surgery. It was like a surgery, but they didn't have to open me up. Um, so I go down there, and I'm trying to stay calm. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still wondering, like, how is this gonna work? Like, are you gonna, put me under? And they're like, oh no, no, you're not gonna be under. We're just gonna sedate you. Long story short, I get sedated. I'm talking to the dude. We're actually talking about products to make sure that my head can stay real clean and shaven. Because the dude had a clean shaven head, and I was like, bro, what products do you use? Because I'm in the market for some of my own. So he showed me on the computer what he uses, and I was like, man, as soon as I get back to the room, I'm about to order one of those, bro. So it actually should arrive today. But yeah. So I'm talking to him. Then next thing you know, this dude is rolling me out, and I'm like, wait, I thought you weren't gonna put me under. Like, they say you're gonna be awake, but you're just not gonna know what's going on. And I'm like, bruh, y'all put me under. Like, I was talking mid sentence, and then all of a sudden I'm getting rolled out of the operating room. So, I mean, it's all good. Everything checked out well. So then they sent me home after that. So I was in the hospital for 3 days. I had to I had to pass physical therapy test. I had to pass an occupational therapy test. I had to talk with a social worker to make sure I was safe to go home. Um, and they were really kind to me. I have never been in the hospital for 3 days. I mean, they fed me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The food was okay. Well, I ain't gonna say it was great, but um, I'm just very thankful. So yeah, they placed me off work for 2 weeks. So this is the second week actually, and they wanted me to kind of evaluate how I feel. I went in and talked with HR. Absolutely, absolutely. Definitely let me know what's important and what's not important, and some things I need to let go, and the things I'm going to continue doing. Because yeah, stroke. They told me about the severity of the stroke, and said like there was a clog in I think it said one of the arteries or something, um, that was going towards my brain. that was caused by like cholesterol. The cholesterol was too high. So now I'm taking all this medication to keep my cholesterol down. Obviously, and watching my diet. And then also, yes, de-stressing, making sure I keep my stress down, making sure that yeah, I'm taking it easy. I'm resting, getting naps, going to bed early. I generally went to bed early anyway, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I'm usually out, but that's why I'm not. I mean, I have nothing but time now, so I've been streaming off and on for a while when I have the time. But yeah, I have the time now. Football season is starting, and specifically the Atlanta Falcons have revamped the entire organization. I mean, not just the head coach, not just the offensive coordinator, not just the defensive coordinator. I mean, I've seen some of the things that they've done with the locker rooms, the weight room, the cafeteria. I mean, Coach Heem has made he done a complete makeover. He's pimped his organization. Pimp My Ride with Exhibit back in the day. I mean, Coach Heem came in and pimped his team. That's what he's done. The Falcon organization, the facilities look like, I mean, it looks like someplace I would want to come take my pillow and go to sleep on the floor of the locker room. That's how nice it looks in there, man. Um, Coach Heem, I truly believe in what he's doing. If it don't work out with him, I gotta say he needs to get a job as a used car salesman. He got to be the best salesman in the history of football if this thing doesn't work out with Coach Heem. Because I'm on board. I'm one of the cautiously optimistic Falcon fans because I know how hard I fall as a fan when I get my hopes up. Got him up in the past, and we already know we ain't got to talk about what has happened in the past. Like I said earlier, we pressing forward, so we're gonna keep all that old history in history. We're not gonna keep bringing it back up, but I'm really excited about this team. I'm excited about the direction that this franchise is taking. I'm excited about Kirk Cousins as our quarterback. We have another Pro Bowl caliber quarterback behind center. I'm excited with our weapons. Um, Drake London on the outside. I'm excited about the Darnell Mooney addition. I really hate that Rondell Moore went down and Jakeem Grant went down, but I'm excited that we have depth. Ray McLeod is up, and we still have we got the rookie Casey Washington who flashed really good in preseason, and we got Kadero Hodge. So we have some depth there, wide receiver. Maybe we make a move and get another wide receiver. I'm not sure if we do that or not, but if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. We will be heading from South Mississippi to Georgia Saturday morning. Okay, you going? So you going to be at the game? You're going to be at the Falcons and Steelers game? Is that what you're saying? South Mississippi. What town is that exactly? What town are you from, Christy? I love meeting Falcon fans. I love that's one of the reasons why I do this. I love interacting with Falcon fans all over the country. I love interacting with sports fans all over the country. But I think Falcon fans, we just have a different type of bond. Everybody ain't built to be a Falcons fan. That's just what it is. Everybody don't have Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Okay, shout out to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Um, God willing, I am supposed to attend my first Atlanta Falcons game and my first NFL game December 16th in Las Vegas when the Raiders face off against the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football. I'm super excited about that. Out here on the West Coast, it's tough to see my Falcons. I missed a few opportunities that I had in the past to see them, but I said I can't let this one go by. So I'm really excited. I got my tickets already, got my flight already. So I'm excited. Going to the game. I need you to come back, Christy. I need you to come back. Can you come back? Uh, Whenever you get back home, are you going to be back home? What, on a Monday or a Tuesday? Whatever day you get back, I want you to come back on and let me know how the experience was. I don't care if we win or lose. I don't care about that. I just want to know how the experience was um, at the game, especially against the Steelers, because I know the Steelers fans travel. They be trying to make it their home game, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen again this year as it has in the past. Um, yeah, I'm hoping that our Falcons fans show up, that we show up, we get there on time, coming back Monday. Okay, so if you're back Monday by 3 o'clock, because I usually come on around 12:30. That's about 3 or 3:30 your time. Um, Come on through. If I don't see you, I'll be back on Tuesday. Then come see me Tuesday. Let me know how it is. Uh, Back. My mom is in remission. Okay, okay, and a 55 plus year Steelers fan. Oh my God. So okay, so you're a Falcons fan, and most of your family are Steelers fans. That's what I'm reading. Everyone ain't built for that dirty bird life. I go to the. Come on now, my half the side of my family is from New Orleans, so I already know how that is. I be repping. I be repping. I be in the restaurant cutting up. Last time I was there, I was asking them, "Hey, where do Falcons fans usually sit when they come into these New Orleans restaurants? Where's all the Falcon? I see they got Saints memorabilia almost up in every restaurant. I was like, where the Falcons jerseys at? They're looking at me like I was crazy. But yeah, my sister's out there. She love her Saints. I mean, everybody they love those freaking Saints in New Orleans. I mean, you have a tough time finding a fan of any other team in New Orleans. I have found some, but you got a tough time. They love them Saints out there. Shout out to New Orleans though. Like I said, my sister is from there, so I got a lot of love for New Orleans. My dad was, born and raised in Louisiana, so yeah, got a lot of New Orleans Saints fans in the family, and they try to cut up. They try to cut up on Sundays too, in these text messages, but they wasn't cutting up too much last year. Uh, so we're gonna see what happens this season. You promised her a game. Absolutely. I'm so glad you're taking your mom to the game. You got to do that, man. I always end all my episodes with tell those that you love them while you can, and make those memories with your family, with your friends while you can. Do it while you can, because you don't know. You don't know from one day to the next, and it didn't really dawn on me. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of reflecting on that earlier, but bruh, I could have been gone. Like some people have strokes and they do not, um, they don't make it. They don't make it. Some of them make it, but they're not able to talk. They're not able to walk. Um, they lose their speech. That's kind of something that happened to my dad, and that might be why I was so alert about the stroke that I had, because I knew something was off, and I knew something was wrong, but the story I was told, because I was in California, uh, but he had his strokes while he was living in New Orleans, and he had several. He had several, and um, he never went in. He didn't go into the hospital, and apparently by the time he got there, they were like, "We see that you've had several strokes," and by the time he got there, he never got out of the wheelchair. to live the rest of his life dependent on other people. He was in the wheelchair for the rest of his life. Never really walked alone on his own. Had to be fed. Was bedridden, and that was because he ignored those warning signs, those symptoms of the stroke. So um, they say every generation gets smarter and wiser. And I knew something was off, so I had to go in. I had to go in. I'm Louisiana born, so they said I was dropped. I was dropped on my head. Okay, so you got the Louisiana roots up in here. Okay, I'm California born. I I've spent I go back to Louisiana though. Um, I try to once a year to see my sister. I might not make it out there this year because of this and what has happened, but I'll definitely, if I'm not there this year, I'll be there next year. I love Louisiana. I love going. I love going to New Orleans. The people are so nice, so kind, so hospitable. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I always hear they say, "Y'all still rising up? Y'all been rising up for how long now? Y'all ain't risen yet." Yeah, I done heard it all. Heard it all. I done seen all the gifts and all the emojis, anti Falcon emojis. I got my stepbrother. He got them all on deck, ready every time we lose. But it's all good. It's all in love. It's all in fun. Like I said, I don't take it too seriously. But I do love my squad, though. I love my squad. Don't get it twisted. I love my squad. So I'm gonna have a lot more time. I said I have to say that I have a lot more time to stream, just to come on here and to talk, and I just wanted to share my story because I feel like it could help somebody, even if it doesn't help you directly, Christy. Maybe you sharing it with somebody that is having some of those symptoms. Like I said, my balance kind of being off a little bit and feeling like a little like tingling in foot, my right foot on the side. It was just a side. It's not even my whole foot, but just a side. And I'm just like, something's not right. So pass that along to, whoever, and just let them know, hey, please, if something's not right and you know your own body, you got to know your body. Go in. It doesn't hurt to just spend those 2 hours, 3 hours. Maybe they send you home, you know maybe they send you home, but then maybe they say, "Hey, we need to evaluate this thing. We need to make sure that you're okay." And there's nothing wrong with it. And especially black men. Okay, talking to my black men out there that may be watching. We can't be too prideful and can't be too ego driven to sit down and allow the doctors to do what they need to do. Because trust me, I didn't want to be in that MRI, bro. I didn't want to be in there. And then they told me I had to do another one the next morning. I almost cried because I was like, I just barely got through this one, just singing and keeping my eyes closed and praying. And then you're going to tell me I got to do it again in the morning? And just so happened that I called this dude an angel, man. I had this brother, this OG, came and picked me up in the morning. He was like, "We going down to the MRI," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I know." And he must have saw like I was not feeling it. I was, I was not trying to be in that tube again. But he was like, "You got this. You got this, young bro. You got this." It's like it ain't gonna be nothing before you know it's gonna be over. So he helped encourage me, and he helped me get my spirits up to where I could, lay down in there, and I wasn't comfortable, but I got through it. So I'm very grateful because I felt like I wasn't gonna make it through that second one. Just claustrophobic. It's just so tight. But I say all that to say this: don't let that keep you from going to get checked, though. Don't let it keep you. Don't worry about what they gotta do. Don't worry about something that might be uncomfortable for you. It don't matter. Your life is more important. Don't choose to be, down and potentially have some worse problem than, like you say, you find out what's going on early, then they can give you the treatment. They can give you the medication. They can give you those things that can prevent something from being a whole lot worse. So my brothers, please, and my sisters, but I think our brothers are more notorious. Go get checked, please. Go in there, get checked out. Also headaches too. They were saying headaches are a sign, like severe headaches. Um, yeah, yeah. Got to make changes. So, eating habits. And I know I have been pretty good, but I kind of fell off the wagon, especially that weekend with the eating habits. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. Um, I knew better. I knew better. But, that flesh be weak sometime. And I know I had been doing real good, and I just like pigged out that weekend and just did way too much. It's okay to have a little bit. They ain't saying a brother can't have no fried chicken, but just don't eat 10 pieces of fried chicken. You feel me? Like, don't eat a whole bucket. They ain't say you can't have no fish, but just don't have the whole pan of fish, right? Don't. Ain't, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of fried fish. Okay. Don't be putting a mountain of hot sauce on it either, though. Yeah, yeah, I had to share this, and I really wasn't going to even share at the beginning, but it's just something that came to me, um, just to share because people need to know. People need to know, and yeah, if I could help one person avoid, going through what my dad went through by avoiding those symptoms, then I feel like I did what I needed to do. My job. I did my job, and it's an assignment. We all have assignments. God-given assignments. We all have assignments, and this was my assignment today. So I appreciate you. Yeah, we need to take better. Absolutely. And somebody told me that exact thing. How can you help take care of others if you don't do self-care first, right? Because I've been taking care of my parents. Um, my mom is older, my stepdad is older. I've been taking care of them and making sure they've been good. And I'm usually the one around here, making sure they're good, doing the heavy lifting and doing all that type of stuff. But now it flipped. Now my mom's is up here taking care of me. She won't let me do nothing. She won't let me do nothing. So just yeah, thank God for good, good family. Um, thank God for moms. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to hurry back and get on my feet. So take that burden off of her. But yeah, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself, especially when you know you have other people counting on you. Self care is important. Um, Let me see. What is prediction? I'm gonna get into my prediction on Friday. I don't want to spoil it. Friday, I'm gonna do my prediction. I'm gonna predict not only whether we win or lose, but I'm gonna give you a score prediction as well. So I'll be doing that on Friday. Um, I'm not sure what time you came in, but I talked about Coach Raheem Morris's press conference today. How he talked about some of the guys that were nicked up. He talked about the captains that were chosen by the team: Jake Matthews, Grady Jarrett, Kirk, Cuzzo, and then Jesse Bates the third. So I talked about those four. Um, I mean, anytime you're voted captains by your teammates, that's a huge, huge, huge accomplishment. Um, I mean, it means a lot when your coaches choose you, but when your teammates choose you, it means more. It means more. It means a lot more. Um, Moderation is the key. A registered dietitian. Okay, look at that. A registered dietitian. Okay, got all type of people coming up in here. Registered dietitian. That's what's up. That's what's up. Thank you for what you do. That's very valuable work. Very valuable work. It's much needed. It's much needed all over. Yeah, set up a notification. Um, yeah, yeah. Coach Heem is definitely he's night and day from Arthur Smith. He's night and day. He has so much personality. He loves to engage with the media. You just felt like Arthur Smith was up there because he had to be up there, mumbling, looking like he had been sucking on lemons all day. Occasionally he would tell a joke or something, but it was just really, it was like pulling teeth for me to try to watch one of his press conferences. They were just boring. He's just a boring guy. And I ain't trying to, I ain't trying to throw shade at him or anything like that. But I mean, Coach Heem, yeah, his personality, his enthusiasm, his passion, it just really comes out every time he speaks to the media. Every time he speaks to anybody, you can just tell that he loves he loves what he does. Yeah, yeah. I mean, um, I feel like Coach Heem has the respect of the media. I feel like Coach Smith did not. And that could be because Coach Heem has a better relationship. He has built relationships with the media. Maybe it's because he was formerly on the staff. But I feel like people treat you how you treat them, right? I feel like Coach Smith, the last couple years, he gave them a lot of smart aleck responses when they were asking him questions. Some of them were crazy, some of them weren't, but he gave them a lot of sarcastic responses and you know uh, cut them off abruptly and just he just seemed like he was above the media, you know, and and I think the media dug into him after that. They really dug into him, especially last season. They dug into him. They were asking him tough question after tough question. And he deserved it because he was coming off like a jerk. He really was in some of his press conferences, like he was above being questioned. I'm like, no, you're not above being questioned, bro. You're 7-10, 3 seasons in a row. Um, but that's my hour. I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you so much. This was an awesome podcast episode. Rise up, and maybe it's just me, but can we come up with the new slogan for us? Maybe we can come up with one um ourselves. But yeah, let's get down to business. Let's put on the hard hat. We got after this, we got 4 more days before Falcons versus Steelers. So it's your boy. Let us pray. I hope you're having a blessed and a prosperous day. If you are watching this on delay, if you're watching the replay after I post it, man, please hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can get these videos, these episodes as soon as I upload them. Like I said, I'm gonna be here tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. I'm gonna be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for at least. I'm gonna aim for at least 1 hour, 4 more days in a row. I can't guarantee you I'm gonna be on every single day, but for these next 4 days, I'm gonna give you at least. I'm gonna try to give you at least 1 hour. If I don't give you 1 hour, I'm gonna give you a good 30 minutes. So I'm gonna say at least 30 minutes to an hour. I'm gonna be on the next 4 days, and we could talk football. We could talk Falcons. We can talk another football team. We could talk sports, but don't get it twisted. This is Falcons therapy. So we will start out with Atlanta Falcon content, and we never know where the conversation is going to go after we get started. So much love to you. Tell those that you love them while you can. Have a blessed and a prosperous day. It's your boy, Let's Pray. And I'm out. Peace.